What's going on, folks? Rob Anderson, Clean Power Wash, Salisbury, Maryland. So, somebody was posting about how you could retrofit a gas-powered roof pump to work with a proportioning system. I brought up the issue that you're going to have leakage. You're going to have additional water or solution that's going to get into your system and will eventually overwhelm your hose, find the weak spot, and blow a hole in it. Somebody's solution is to put 15 gallon or 15 foot, 25 foot, whatever hose to bypass it. So you bypass back in through the beginning of through the inlet, and again, it's still not going to resolve the problem. It'll buy you more time, absolutely. But I promise you, if you let that thing run for several minutes, eventually it is going to find the weak spot and it will overwhelm it. It might take 10 minutes, it might take 15. Ray Burke made a great point on there because they had tried it too with the boosters before they had the Pro Switch. If you were to have a longer bypass loop, yes, that buys you more time. But the problem is that you would either have sauce or water in that loop. So you're spraying the house with roof mix or whatever house mix, and you let off the trigger. So now you're going to fill up all that 15 feet of hose. It'd be 2 or 3 gallons, right? So that's only changing what's in there when you stop spraying. So if you stop spraying, you've got your roof mix, goes into that loop, you start spraying. What's in the loop will still continue to be kind of in that loop. You're getting more stuff drawn in, and some of what's in that loop will eventually get sucked in and through and out. But you're going to continually have that contaminated loop. So then you go to water, you're going to have to spray water, let go, try and get rid of the soap that's in the bypass loop. But what's going to happen is you're going to have, so now let's say you had roof mix in there and you switched to water. You had a 5% solution in there that you're trying to go around, dilute that out. Well, how are you going to dilute it out? I mean, each time that you're gonna have some more water in there, but there's still going to be the sauce that was in there. You're gonna have to keep doing that, so you really can't rinse with it anymore. It's another thing that I hadn't really even considered, but that is a big flaw with having that big loop. It's not going to work that way. You would need a way for the gas machine to basically throttle down, like they do with some of the other, the bigger ones, the carbureted ones, that can actually idle down when you're not spraying. But I don't know if that would even work that well for the roof system. The reason why a 12 volt or a booster or air diaphragm pump system, booster with a Pro Switch on it, will work is because when you get off to full pressure, the pump stops. It's no longer forcing more solution in there. It doesn't need a bypass to release the pressure. So on the 12 volt, it just reaches its 120 psi or 60 psi or whatever it is, and stops as soon as you stop pressing the trigger. Booster pump, when it hits a pressure and you're no longer spraying, it shuts down too. Air diaphragm pump, it's never really on. It hits its pressure and stops. Nothing else is going to go through that line. That's why those three work with the proportioning systems, because you're pulling, you have to have that continual suction, and then when you do switch over to water with any of those, there's no additional loop where you're going to have contaminated solution come through it. So again, I have a booster, I have air, I've used 12 volt, I hated it. I used the gas powered roof machines, they were fantastic, but we had to batch mix with those. We spent a lot of time mixing batches, wondering what strength the mix was. It was a great system when it was just me, and if we're doing just houses, it works fantastic. I love it. But for going back and forth between houses and roofs and stuff, it just wasn't feasible. It also required an extra tank for you to do that, your mix tank. So I hope that helps, guys. I know some people are trying to promote using those gas power machines with proportioners, but it's just not going to work. Sorry. Trust me, I tried to figure it out myself because I love the performance of that, especially compared to the 12 volt. So anyways, have a great day.